Hi, it's Anna. Thanks for tuning in. So, are we just remembering? I wanted to do a video on this topic because it's actually a very popular topic these days. Um, a lot of people saying that you already are all that is, you just need to remember. You already are wisdom, um, you just need to remember. I've seen a lot of stuff like that, and it gets repeated over and over again. And I think this is an invitation to question, sometimes what we are repeating, and in general, to question everything that we see online and that we listen to. So I just want to bring back some nuance and clarity on this specific topic because I think when we view things incompletely and when a truth is fragmented like that, it loses the capacity to actually help us on this path. It has a way to keep us stuck, actually. It has a way to keep us passive and remove the spiritual will that actually has to be built, it has to be developed. I did a video on that titled, I think, This Path Requires Effort. Um, and my personal opinion on this as well is that these narratives are very popular because there is a wound or a need in humanity to be taken care of, to want the easy path. And Luciferic dark forces are just using this wound to manipulate and lead people astray. And so we have to be aware of this. This channel is called the Path of Empowerment, so I will continue to bring awareness to, paying attention to what's around so we can be empowered. So, are we just remembering? It is true that there is a part that we are remembering. At the most basic level, we are remembering that we are a soul, that we have a spirit. That's what a lot of people have to start with, right? I mean, I was raised atheist, so I had to start from the bottom up. So there is a huge component of remembering. It's true. And, as you progress on the path, you realize that there are things that you start to remember, whether it's past life experiences or different gifts that you have that come naturally. There is a huge component of remembrance, um, and it's one aspect of the path. That's absolutely true. But we are not just remembering; we are also evolving. We are also building. And any narrative that strips away the component of evolution, of soul evolution, the developmental lens, is problematic at this point. And so exploring the work of Rudolf Steiner really helps me anchor what I'm observing in more precise spiritual science. Because truth is precise, right? We need to get to the precision of things. And so the core of his message is that he explains that the human being evolves over time, and different epochs of time bring different requirements or different areas that we're working on. And very specifically, he mentions that the Christ event was the turning point of time. Before Christ, the ego was not developed enough for transformation. It was only a release at that time. So, from that perspective, the teachings of Buddha and the ancient Eastern teachings are accurate for that time, right? Because it was all about escaping and connecting to spirit through out of body experiences. But after Christ, the path becomes a path of conscious development. It becomes developmental, not just escapism. And to quote him, he actually says that the Christ event was needed to complete the whole being. So today, we don't need to focus on just spirit or out of body experiences. We actually need to focus on bringing a body, soul, spirit integration. That's the gift of Christ. It's not about enlightenment only, it's about wholeness. These peak experiences are only one aspect of the path, they're not the whole path. And so it's not to say that there are not amazing nuggets of wisdom that we can extract from Eastern teachings. Absolutely. I think the whole part of Eastern teaching that's about, the emptying of the cup is absolutely amazing. But that's not where we end. We need to bring it down here. We need to anchor it. And it's also where there are different school of thoughts as well around whether spirit, the divine spark, the monad, is completely perfect and doesn't evolve, versus the other school of thought that actually rejects that and says that it's still evolving. And personally, I only resonate with the developmental side of things. I can see very clearly that even people who are, at higher levels, they all bring different levels of wisdom. So we are not all the same at a spirit level. We are on a path of becoming at all levels. And I think there's an element where we have to really humble ourselves and understand that there is a purpose to this incarnation, and that we cannot just strip away the whole point of being here, or strip it down to the level of just being a game and just exploration. There is a sacredness to life. There is, respect and reverence for the entire process that needs to be activated. So that's the issue that I have with this very popular narrative that, we just need to remember you already are all that is. And typically, if you notice it as well, it's typically sentences that everyone repeat and they are exactly the same. Because what is actually that trying to achieve? It's completely fragmenting an aspect of the path and making it the whole, when there are multiple elements to this path. There is a part of remembrance, and there is also a part of evolution, striving, effort, humbling ourselves so we don't start repeating these sorts of narratives. And I think we have to be very careful to question narratives that remove completely the aspect of evolution, stripping the essence of life. True light is fully alive and it's full of wisdom. There needs to be an activation in you that makes you love wisdom and crave it, so that you actually manage to extract so much gold from everything. You are not already all that is. You are not already wisdom. The wisdom is unfolding in your life. There is wisdom that you are remembering, that's true. There also is wisdom that's given to you as gifts from higher guidance. But there is also a lot of work that needs to be done. It's not just about remembering. And on a bigger scale as well, if you are already perfect and everything's an illusion, then you don't need to develop that will, that spiritual will, to improve your character, to fight injustice in the world, right? And then you end up with the mass of spiritual people who are, drunk on light, on enlightenment, but are actually functionally useless to truly help in the world, to truly fight injustice. If they see abuse, are they going to step in and protect people? We're not escaping anymore. We're not doing that anymore. And so we need to anchor ourselves into what the task is for this time. And that's why you actually need Christ. You actually need to attune to Christ, because this is the part where we're at. When you truly attune to Christ and what Steiner calls the Christ impulse, which is a force of transformation in you, you can't be led astray. You will never be satisfied with narratives that just tell you it's just remembrance. But the reason why I'm also bringing this topic is because I want to invite you to also question sometimes what we're repeating, because I know that sometimes I've repeated stuff in the past and I've had to come back and be like, why am I saying that? This is part of the path to question, what are we repeating? Ultimately, we should all be so unique that we are speaking in our own unique language. If you are repeating things that other people are saying and you're not talking in your own language, is the lack of individuation there. And so that needs to be worked on. So that's what I had for you today in a nutshell. Yes, we are remembering. There is so much that we are remembering, and we are also evolving. There is a point to your incarnation. And you are evolving, you are building, you are actually in a process of becoming fully alive and integrated. It's a process of actually integrating body, soul, and spirit. It's not a process of just escaping into spirit only. Um, what we are after is wholeness. It's not enlightenment. So I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.